All right, guys. The morning after, when the game is over, guys. The coaching job in the second half was worse than I actually thought it was going to be. I actually went back. We watched the game. Took the Bama goggles off, and that coaching that was a blunder. That was a coaching blunder in the second half. We refused. It's not even the fact that we didn't make adjustments. It's the fact that we refused to make adjustments in the second half. I couldn't believe the shit that we were running in the second half. It's insane. Now, when that all 22 comes out, I have to see it again, because I have to see what are the coaches looking at. What were we looking at in that second half? But I don't blame it. I don't see, because a lot of people think that they kind of get it confused. People think that I'm blaming the players for the second half blunder. And yes, the players do have to get some blame for it, because you cannot let a team come back 23 points and think that you're just not going to have any sort of blame into it. But this was on the coaches. The coaches are the ones that I have to blame the most. And people wonder why I'm hard on the coaches. Was because because you did not make the adjustments. The game plan was to just play vanilla conservative on offense, even though that you were going up tempo on offense and not wasting any clock. And then defensively, you didn't really change. You kept letting corners. You kept playing a lot of sink. You kept letting these corners play on islands. There was barely any safety help. And then you tried to go way too aggressive by trying to send 7 and 8. That didn't really help. If anything, I guess that's kind of the one adjustment that I would think we made, was that we started to be a little bit more aggressive on defense. But at that point, you kind of had no choice. But this crap that we were disguising a lot of cover zero, we were disguising 0. We were showing 1. And switching it to something else. I mean, yes, it worked in the first half. The second half, Carson Beck and Mike Bobo, they made the adjustment. They saw through the disguise. They knew exactly where to go towards, and we didn't do anything. We just continued to just let them do whatever they wanted to do. And I'm like, what are we changing to something? Run some too high. Show some cover 3. Show something besides playing the same coverages playing the same coverages and disguising the same shit that we did in the first half, because clearly they made the adjustment towards it and we didn't do it. We were just stubborn. We were so damn stubborn of leaving these corners on islands that, yes, when Georgia was scoring quickly on consecutive drives, yeah, I wonder why they're doing that crap, because we're not making the adjustment to protect the one thing that you should be able to do when you're in a game where you're up big. And that's not let the offense go over top of you. It was insane what Nick Sheridan and Kane Womack was doing in this game. Nick Sheridan, again, we're running sweeps, read option, or we're trying to run off tackle off to the goddamn edge. And the second half, the one thing that I talked about in my halftime live stream was that Georgia was going to set the edge. That was one of the things that I said. Georgia's going to make adjustments. The one thing that I know they're going to do, they're going to set the edge. They're going to eliminate any sort of chance of that. And honestly, why the hell wouldn't Georgia try to set the edge? They got murdered on it in the first half. They're going to set the edge in the second half. And that's exactly what they did. And we kept trying to run towards it. Our running backs kept trying to bounce to the outside when the edge was already set. And then again, we tried to go up tempo and tried to hit short intermediate routes. And it was to a point where they were just bringing their safeties up. They said, okay, they're not going to take any deep shots. Just bring the safeties up. Just crowd them. And at that time, as soon as they were doing that, we got to make the adjustment. Okay, let's go back to what worked in the first half and let's run empty. Run some empty. Or take some deep shots down the field. You need to keep them honest. You can't Georgia did not respect Alabama in the second half. And I'm like, Sheridan, what are we doing? And then if we're going to waste clock, this is Kalen DeBoer. This is Kalen DeBoer and this is Nick Sheridan. If you're going to waste clock, then waste the damn clock. Why are we running up tempo? Why are we rushing to get these plays off? But we're running a vanilla-based offense. And then think about this for a second. We're running vanilla. We're not taking any deep shots. We're not being aggressive. Because honestly, I said we were being aggressive. No, the hell we weren't. We weren't being aggressive. We were being aggressive with the clock. We were being aggressive with the tempo and not wasting the clock. But the play calling wasn't aggressive. It was conservative as shit. So yes, I am blaming these coaches for the. Now we won the game. We're 4-0. We won the game. I'm happy that we won the game. But I am pissed off that we were even in this damn position in the first place. Because quite frankly, I don't blame Xavier Brown for giving up the yards that he did. That's a true freshman. I don't blame Rhett Morgan for the shit that he did. He's a true freshman. Now, Keon Sabb had a shitty game. Keon Sabb had a terrible game. I get that. But even still, I don't even really blame Keon Sabb that much. I blame these coaches. I don't blame Milroe. I don't blame the offensive line. I don't blame these receivers. Hell, Jam Miller and Justice Haynes, I love these two guys. They pissed me off yesterday. Because they were pissing me off. Kept trying to bounce it off to the outside. Weren't trying to run downhill. Weren't trying to get the tough yards. They were pissing me off yesterday. But even then, I don't even really blame the running backs. And those two literally cost us first from continuing drives, for literally continuing drives and wasting the clock even further. Definitely Jam. Could have got us the first down that could have set us up in field goal range. And then Justice Haynes, I don't know why. Again, he slowed down. He stopped when Chris Allen was trying to make the tackle. Literally would have kept. Let's just keep going. Your momentum is going to carry you to the first down, whatever it is, what it is. But even then, I'm not going to really blame those players. I blame the coaches. The coaches messed it up for us. The coaches put these players in a position where we couldn't succeed. And then Kalen DeBoer, again, I get it. It's 4th and inches. Georgia has all the momentum in the world. It has 2:56 left on the clock. I'm not giving them the ball back. Because quite frankly, the blunder that honestly happened was that Georgia used too much time. Is that Georgia barely used any time. They scored too quickly and gave us an opportunity to respond. Because if I was Georgia, if I had that ball in the last drive, I know Alabama's defense can't stop me. If we get into 4th down conversions, I know they can't stop I know they can't stop me on 4th down because we've been succeeding every time. I am killing that drive, and I am taking that clock down as much as possible, and I'm going to score a touchdown. I am making sure Bama doesn't get the ball back when I got that. The point is, I'm making DeBoer pay for not being aggressive. And I get it. It's the smart thing to do. But sometimes you have to know the situation. And so I thought from a Kalen DeBoer management perspective, it was terrible yesterday. Nick Sheridan and Kane Womack pissed me off the most. That was awful. That was god-awful coaching in the second half. And again, like the first half, it was perfect. It was perfection in the first half. The second half came. Mike Bobo and Glenn Schumann made their adjustments, and you didn't do anything. You didn't respond. You just let shit be. In a way, you underestimated how much time was left on the clock, both offensively and defensively. So yes, I don't blame the players. I don't really blame them. I blame the coaching staff for putting these players in this sort of position. Because as soon as Georgia scored the 21 points, offensively, I'm saying to myself, okay, this shit's a 2-score game. Georgia's offense has all the momentum in the world. Defensively, they have made the adjustments They have made the adjustments. We gotta start going aggressive. We gotta start going aggressive, not just with the clock, but we gotta start scoring points now. Start running some empty. Or if we're going to waste the damn clock, let's start running downhill. Let's see if we can test this interior defensive line, because this interior defensive line, they're not even threatened by the presence of my linemen. And I have Jaden Robertson, I have Tyler Booker and Parker Brailsford. But I'm not going to keep doing the same dumb shit by trying to run it off, by trying to get off to the edge, or continuing to have short intermediate concepts. I'm not going to do that. We're going to start taking some deep shots. We're going to start testing the deep. We're going to start testing secondary again. Because again, the defense, they didn't respect you in that second half. They didn't respect you. They kept bringing their safeties down. They weren't respecting you. They didn't feel any threat of the receivers in the second half because they felt like the defensive line, this front seven, had it all under control. The offensive line, I thought, and the crazy part is the second half, the pass protection was great. The pass protection was excellent. I can't blame it on the pass protection. These concepts that were drawn, it was terrible by this coaching staff, guys. It was terrible. So, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm happy that we got the win, but at the same time, the more I watch that game back, the more I'm thinking to myself, dude, we should have won this game by at least 3 scores. And yes, we got to give credit to Georgia. I don't want to take anything away from Georgia, but the lack of adjustments that we made in that second half, the refusal of making adjustments is just mind-boggling to me. And that's the type of shit that you don't want happening. Because, again, Tennessee's going to be a tough game. Missouri, I don't think, we'll see about Missouri. But like I said, the point is, you got Tennessee in a couple weeks. You got Tennessee coming up. That's going to be a tough game. That's a team that can stretch you vertically. I don't want the same situation happening against Tennessee. I don't. So we'll see what happens. But I am definitely, I'm not going to lie to you, that shit pissed me off watching that game back. And I'm probably going to do it a third time once that all 22 comes out, because the coaching adjustments that we made in that game there was no adjustments. There wasn't any adjustments until the last 3 minutes of the game. It was insane watching that crap.